Alright, so today we're going to be doing a review of the Red Magic tablet. This one came with the 256 gigabyte storage, 12 gigs of RAM. Just got this from 2 days ago, and we're going to be doing a deep dive of its advantages compared to other tablets such as Xiaomi, as well as the Lenovo Legion Y700. And to those who are going to be um, passing by watching this video, thank you so much for checking this out. And thanks as well if you're going to be if you're going to be subscribing to the channel. That's going to be really a great help. So without further ado, let's just unlock the tablet and see what's inside, because I've been doing a lot of research about this. There's no XDA forums particular about this tablet, but about other Red Magic phones there are plenty. And yeah, so right on the bat, this is again Red Magic NPJ 01 NP01J. Okay, and so far I've been really happy about this compared, because prior to this one I got the Xiaomi Pad Max 14 that came with the 8 gigabyte RAM and 256 storage. I was planning to originally use it for creating content, particularly Call of Duty Mobile, and streaming as well on Facebook and TikTok. With the Xiaomi Pad 6 lineup that came out recently, particularly the Pad Max, I was kind of expecting to have a feature to be used specially for streaming, and prior to that, Xiaomi as well. What I had was the Lenovo Legion Y700 2022 version. That one came as well with 12 gigs and 256 storage, but the size was already getting too small for me, so I had to get a big one just to get some minor advantages in playing Call of Duty, and just so I could see enemies better. I'm pretty sure, to those who are watching, you've already seen most of the reviews and what it does, but for now let's just go ahead and open Call of Duty, and right off the bat you'd see that the game space opens. Alright, so I already had the information turned on, so what's good about this is that you can see what you wanted to see. Oh, hang on a second. You can see what you wanted to see already with the information. What's it lacking is the temperature sensor. How I wish that the temps could show up in here, because if you click any of these numbers, it will show up. Hang on a second. Right, let's open it again, just like this one. So if I wanted to see the FPS, how many FPS I'm getting, just tap the FPS. Wanted to see the time, because while the game is running you cannot see the status bar. Okay, so hang on a second. Alright, so if you wanted to see the FPS, just tap on the FPS. If you want to see the time, just click on the time itself and it will show up just like that, and you can drag it around anywhere on the screen. But normally, as players, I'd prefer to have the FPS showing up on the top, or on the top left portion of the screen. Okay, so from here, what's good about this tablet is that compared to the Xiaomi Pad 6 lineup, though most of those, or I could say that all of those tablets could run the game at ultra settings, The Pad 6 lineup could set you or could take you to ultra frame rates. By the way, this one runs in 120 in MP and 90 FPS in VR, and hopefully they could update this to run at least 120 across all game modes. But on the Pad 6 lineup, yeah, it could take you to ultra frame rate, but the graphic quality is just set too low. So I didn't want that while playing because I was kind of used to playing ultra and medium graphic settings from my Lenovo Legion Y700 2022. So I was kind of hoping that it could run that. I don't know, but maybe in further future it would, hopefully. But I'm not planning to like get back to buying a Xiaomi series tablet probably in the near future once it's already time to upgrade. But yeah, for this game particularly, this runs in 90 FPS and medium graphic settings. What's weird is that you can also adjust the frame rate adjustment to make it run like 120, but in reality it doesn't really run 120 FPS in VR mode. And setting it to very high gives you the max frame rate, but I'd prefer running it the highest frame rate possible. Audio wise, I don't have any complaints. At first, when I started running this from using the Type C like to charger and display and HDMI or like USB stuff like that, because I was actually running this on a capture card. The setup was to use the game or play the game using a like dedicated dock or a cheap Type C to HDMI port with USB and charging. Then that Type C then runs with this device. This was from Plexstone, a sound card from them. See? So from the Type C connector, and this one is connected to the USB port of that Type C. At first, the volume of the wired headset that's coming out of it was very low, actually. But figure out that I had to just restart the PC or just restart the tablet, and that brought the volume back to normal. And it's quite good actually. And compared to the other tablets I'd had in the past, it's running fine. Volume's pretty great. I can hear footsteps, gunshots, and whatnot. So pretty much what you've been looking for this tablet is how does it run the game? I mean, how good does it run the game? So if you'll go to practice range, you'd see that it does run at 90 FPS, and it's just close to that. It's tied to that. Didn't had any problems with it. It's just so happened that this device is really brand new, and I didn't had any of that tempered glass on. It's still on the way. I believe it's still in shipping. Still waiting for that, including the case. There are only a few companies who makes those products for this tablet, particularly the case options. So there's only quite a few. None of them had like the smart folio that could that's covered. I mean, that's covering the entire tablet itself. But there's one that's magnetic, but the sides are actually all exposed. So I'm not really quite fond of that. Going back to the game, what are the options inside of the game space? Pretty sure you're quite interested in seeing that on this tablet as well. Hang on. So, as expected, please don't expect that this video is going to be quite short, because I really wanted to let you guys know what this tablet is capable of doing or providing you with your games. Okay. Brightness wise, I don't have any complaints. It's pretty bright already. I mean, looking at this one, it's still quite low, but to me it's already pretty bright, so that depends on your preference. The game, or the game space, if that's what they call it, lets you run the game at 120 FPS once it's already available. But even if you click on that, the game itself won't run at 120 FPS. I'm pretty sure that this only works for games that could run at 120 FPS, probably Fortnite or Farlight 84, but I don't play those games. Just so for now, I just keep that at 120 FPS. What's only annoying about this is that once you've tapped or once you've selected an option, the game space just closes out like that. Okay, so looking at the right side first, we have Wi-Fi, FPS, and the info. The info is the one that shows up here, lets you know of the status or particular parameters. Then you have two recording option. Um, One is the like buffer recording, so it lets you record the past 60 seconds or up to past 60 seconds. Means say if you've already, you're playing a game and you wipe a few squads and you wanted to have that clipped, you can just make sure that this is already turned on. And if you tapped on this button here, which you could also drag around like that, if you tap on this, then that will pretty much record the past 60 seconds that happened. Okay, but I don't normally use that. Probably in the near future. Screen recording. Um, What's good about this is that this also lets you record the in-game sounds as well as the microphone, but the quality itself, I think it's still a bit bugged because I made a few recordings using this, and the quality is kind of like pixelated, so I don't normally recommend you using this because it uses some resources on your tablet as well, and that could affect your game. Then there's the optimize button, and what I love about this as well is that there's also an option for bypass charging. So if you're running a game at low battery and you'd want to avoid like the heating situation, because this heats normally on this side, on the back, on this part, this section at the upper right portion, this is where I could feel the heat building up, but it doesn't bother me. Unlike if you're using a phone wherein you really have to use like a phone cooler or something like that. I don't plan on using a tablet cooler yet. Probably in the near future, maybe my Black Shark or Plexstone EX3, but I don't see myself using that currently. So yeah, there's the bypass charger. And what's really interesting about it and what sold me into getting this tablet is this option right here, projection. Okay, so this device lets you monitor or lets you project your screen wirelessly and wired using just the USB cable running into their Red Magic Studio. I'm probably gonna show that in another video in the near future. But what's really good about this is that if you are the type of guy who normally run their games using like a capture card or an Elgato capture card or something like that, is that once you have it plugged in, and this is the feature that I was hoping that Xiaomi would come out, is that once this is already plugged in, this will then allow you to like, that's the wireless casting. Where is it? You could still play the game at like 60, 120 or 144 FPS depending on the game that you're running it with. But USB screencasting. Okay. Hang on a second. I don't really recommend that you do wireless casting, but if you're willing to compromise, because depending on the network you're running it with, um, lets you. Wait a second. Happen. Okay, so it lets you select the kind of quality that you want it to run to when using wireless casting. But if you're gonna be doing like a USB or an HDMI screencasting, it lets you do so. And um, what this did to me was it lets you run the game still at the highest frame rate possible. So as you can see, my tablet is currently connected to my EasyCap 333 capture card, and this capture card allows me to stream the game or run the game, or at least record at maximum of 120 FPS. So in my previous experience with Xiaomi Pad Max 14 is that once you plug the USB connector with the where it's connected, where including the capture card where the USB dock is connected into, the Xiaomi Pad Max runs only at a maximum of 60 FPS with no parameters that allows you to like select what particular resolution you want the screen to run to while casting it to a USB device or a capture card. It doesn't have that actually. Unlike my Lenovo Legion Y700, yeah, it does have that, but the screen's quite small. But this tablet itself is pretty much every mobile gamer needs. If you just want to play the game, yeah, it does run really well, just like an ROG phone or something like that. But it lets you stream the game perfectly fine without any issues whatsoever as well. As long as you're only running it with, if you want to stream, you might want to consider running it with a capture card, just so it could get the best quality and that there's no compromises in terms of performance or anything that uses the tablet's resources while running the game. What's also, there's also, in the past I've used the Duon mirror casting as well. What's good about this tablet in that what Red Magic offers, particularly those who runs their OS at Red Magic OS like 8 or something. What's good about this is that they also offer a Red Magic Studio, wherein you could cast your screen wirelessly and wired without needing to like subscribe to anything or any monthly subscription or annual subscription. You could do that. If you've been using Duon in the past, this device doesn't need that anymore, so might not have to renew my Duon subscription this year, because I've had one in 2023 I've had a Duon subscription. Yeah, so it's pretty much about this tablet. Oh, I haven't discussed anything about this side. So, from the top left to bottom, so we have Gravity X, Auxiliary Line, Stopwatch, Crosshair, Amp Slang, Key Map, and Sound EQ. I'm pretty sure that the Sound EQ doesn't work in game, so I'm kind of ignoring this one. The Gravity X pretty much lets you connect the tablet to any peripherals that you could use, keyboard, mouse, controllers. The auxiliary line, I don't think that this helps. I'm not pretty sure what this is for, to be honest, and I have no plan on using it as well. And hang on a second, let's just log into the game. Oh, there's no sound. Okay, stopwatch. Wanted to use this as stopwatch when playing games. Crosshair, I don't use this because this typically gets people banned, and yeah, I'm just used to not using any of those crosshair stuff. But in the RG6, in my RG6 in the past, I've used that. Didn't quite help. I mean, if you plan on mastering the game, please don't use any of these. The M slang, I'm pretty sure this is this is just a translator. If you have the tablet set to running a Chinese, if the tablet's language is set to run a Chinese, the M slang lets you translate from Chinese to English. Key mapping, this is, I'm not sure yet how to use this actually. But yeah, if you're seeing the game from this recording, and this recording is just 60 FPS, I mean, the game runs really amazing in this tablet. There are other options as well. Lets you set a dedicated sensitivity and smoothness, sliding smoothness per game. In Genshin, I have it just set to default. The performance-wise, the performance settings, the GPU and the CPU performance, you can have that set up in the game space. The show button lets you select like a dedicated color profile per game. So I just have it set to shoot because I like it, to be honest. The voice, this one's if you're using like a white headset together with the Red Magic dock. I think that's the only device that's compatible with this. But while using my current setup, I cannot use this actually. I think this is a sound profile, depending on how you want the game to run per sound. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm just showing it to you guys. Function allocation. So this is about the buffer replay, like the one I mentioned earlier, when you can record your past 60 seconds. You can have the quality set in here. Plugin settings. This is just those things that are on the left side of the game space from earlier. Yeah, so if you're that kind of gamer who wants to tweak around with the performance of their device, I think this one is perfectly for you. I'm not sponsored to do this review, but for those who wanted to buy this tablet particularly, I just want to save you from the hassle of doing any further research. If you have any questions about the tablet that are not available online, anything you want to know, you can just leave those in the comment section, and I hope to be able to answer those as well. So yeah, that's gonna be it, because the information that I've shown you today are those info that I was looking for online over the forums and YouTube, when it's not really available or it's not said. Okay, but yeah, so hopefully I could see you in the next video, and please feel free to subscribe to the channel. That's gonna help me a lot, and thank you so much. Happy New Year to you as well. Bye for now.